in today's RC car tutorial, I'm going to show you exactly how to lock an RC car differential. The reason for this is I have my new HPI Racing RS4 Sport 3 Creators Edition kit. It's completed now. I have bought a spare differential online for about $16. HPI Racing do a locked differential for this car, but it's about $45–50 on there. For this original HPI Racing one, it's just $16 online, and I'm going to show you how to lock it for just a couple of pennies more on the dollar. On that, very easy indeed to do on this car, and you will be able to do this pretty much on any RC car differential. But what this will enable me to do is have one locked diff, and I'm going to keep my original one nice and safe, stored to the side, and be able to swap them in and out, because it's very easy to swap the diffs out on these cars. You've just got to undo 4 screws and that's it. You can remove the differential. One of the easiest RC cars out there on the market today to work on. As you might gather, this is impressing me quite a lot, this car. Anyway, let's get straight down to it because it's a nice, easy, cheap mod. So, Richie, what do I need to do to lock my RC car differential? Well, as I say, you would be best getting a separate differential if you can afford to do so, because that way, if you want to use your original differential and not have a locked one, you can do so. I hope that makes sense on there. So what do we need? Well, all we're going to need for this one is some shoe glue. But let me get the camera down and talk you through just how easy this mod is. A little bit of work involved at the start, which is slightly messy, but given the cost of this mod, it's worth it in the end. Just remember, guys, if you like what you see today, don't forget to subscribe. How to lock a diff? Well, the first thing to do is get some rag and remove all of the grease from the outside of the differential. Next, we're going to get a screwdriver or a hex driver, depending on your diff, and remove these 4 screws. Now, when you're taking apart the diff, be careful because they've got things like O-rings inside here, not applicable to every diff, but just something to be aware of. Now, to take the differential apart, keep all 4 screws safely to one side. We want to remove all of this grease, but first of all, to get to the grease, we need to take the diff apart. We're going to clean all the grease off, even off little bits like this. Now, every differential is going to be slightly different, and you may even want to video yourself taking it apart so you know exactly how to put it back together. Now, what I want to do is remove all this grease from the inside of the diff, remove it off of everything in here. Now, to do this, I'm going to use some Nitroforce cleaner to blast this in here, and then use some rag in order to wipe as much of that grease off as possible. Now, when I've got that first wave of grease out, I'll actually take the diff components out of the diff now. As I say, you need to pay careful attention as to how it all goes together, because you're going to want to put it back in exactly the same order. Now, while I'm using the Nitroforce cleaner, you could use WD-40 on it, which will probably cut through the grease a little bit faster, but this is a little bit nicer on the hands and on the work surface, of course, and degreased everything pretty much as well as I can. At this stage, we're going to get our shoe glue, and we're going to squeeze a tiny bit in over the top of the diff there. I'm not going to put the whole lot in yet, because we're now going to rebuild the diff, taking care to put it back in the same order we took it out. Now, you will note there's a tiny little flat plate in there, which I'm going to need to rotate around. There's a little bit of care required in reassembling this. Even though we're going to lock it, you still want it together in the same order. So we've got our diff back together now. So I've got some shoe glue the other side of there. Now, going to fill in the top with shoe glue. But at this point, we're gently going to rotate the differential on that, backwards and forwards. Okay, now making sure our differentials are all sat nicely in place and level with the top there, because I'm now going to remove the excess. Okay, now working with some speed, you can get all 4 screws back in place as fast as possible, making sure the diff is together nice and level, everything's in parallel on that. Okay, well, you do have to work at some speed, as the shoe glue does actually begin to set quite quickly on there. Now what we're going to do is make sure we've got no shoe glue. It's just quickly blasting that out round there. What you don't want is any of the shoe glue in any of the gear teeth. Now, with the shoe glue, if you spill any of it, it's probably better just to let it solidify on the side on there. Speaking of solidifying, I am now going to go on and let the shoe glue inside the differential cure for 12 hours. So there we are, that is how to lock our differential. Nice easy job, a little bit messy along the way, but still quite easy to do though, and far cheaper than buying a diff that's already locked. Well, I've let the shoe goo set in my differential overnight, and about 12 hours later on, the thing is absolutely locked solid. Anyway, I think I did say I would give a practical demonstration of this diff in action and swap out the existing differential for this lock one. And this car is nice and easy to work on with just 4 screws to remove to change the diffs over. So let's get to it. Well, in the RS4 Sport 3, all you've got to do to remove the diffs is remove 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. Simple as that. Now, I said it was nice and easy removing the 4 screws. Note, if you get one of these, the 2 longer screws sit towards the front, the 2 shorter ones towards the rear. And with those 4 screws removed, you simply push this cover back, take that differential out, take our new locked one, slide that into place. Okay, got my locked differential fitted to the rear of the car. Time to get the body on. Let's have a quick spin around the gap. So, moment of truth, is it going to drift well or not? Ooh, well, that's got to be quick on the tail scaps out, and you've got to be very, very fast and deep. Not the easiest drift conversion, I would have said. Do a little bit more speed. Oh. Well, that's how to lock an RC car differential. Oh, that little demo at the end with the HPI Racing RS4 Sport 3 Creators Edition showed you just how effective it can be. This car in particular does not need a lot of power. I had to dial the throttle rate right down. With it turned on normal, that thing was just about uncontrollable, spinning out far too easily once I'd locked that rear diff on there. Once I dial the throttle rate down, put a little bit less throttle in on the turns, was able to catch the back end and do some quite nice drifts on there. But anyway, the whole principle of this video was to show you exactly how to lock an RC car diff. So that little demonstration at the end was just a bit of a Richie bonus thrown in there for you. Anyway, plenty more to come from this car, because next it's getting some super sticky foam tyres on it, and we're going to go outside and see just how fast it is. So if you don't want to miss that video, then don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Well, if you'd like your very own HPI Racing RS4 Sport 3 Creator Edition, then do not hesitate to get in touch with JJ Customs down in San Jose. Well, thumbs up if you like this video, guys. Post any comments you might have in the comment section below the video, and hit the circle below to subscribe. And if you do hit the circle, don't forget to hit the bell.